we will be definitely telling the Liberian people through our analysis how this particular country can move forward. So shortly coming up, we'll talk about ArcelorMittal's operations in Liberia. They've been here for over 25 years in our country. Their operations, their investments, their profit, and what has it done to impact the lives of the ordinary people positively within the Republic of Liberia as their extension process is ongoing. Their concentrator plant that is being built as well. What is it? We've been following several lawmakers to include the senator from Nima County, Nyantoin, and the senator from Sino County, Creighton O'Duncan. They've all been very key and critical as well on the operations of ArcelorMittal and how it's been done over there. So we've also will dive into other issues. On the flip side, President Bwaka's commitment to the fight against corruption, his stance. We're going to go deep into that. Is the president actually serious about the fight against corruption in his government? What has the president done so far to ensure that Liberians can be rest assured that corruption will be minimized to the fullest? And so the latest is the suspension of the LTA acting commissioner, talking about Abdullah Kamara. He was suspended for an act of financial misconduct at the LTA, taking monies from the LTA's account and placing it in his private entity, Tama Corporation's account, and other mismanagement of finances of that particular government institution. So we're going to talk about that and look at how honest and holistic is President Bwaka in terms of his fight against corruption. These are two key points we're going to weigh in on the program tonight. And of course, our guests will have to come in terms of the panelists. Our guest panelists will have to come in on the program.
Mhm.
We're expecting Andrew Kear. We're also expecting Christopher Kear to join in on the program, our own CEO, who will be talking on or making analysis on the conversation tonight, right here live on Kear Radio. But well, we could kick start the conversation.
Yeah,
Desmond Brown.
while we await the other panelists, but again, it's better to go to the US and and have generous first interaction on the first proposition that we have in terms of the ArcelorMittal issue, and let's hear his honest opinion and his view from where he said, those sitting in America have lenses in Liberia. They they may have a lot of information that we're not privileged to have. So we can hear from him at first, and then we can come back to do our own
Great.
analysis.
We will do that. But again, let me encourage our followers, those of you who are watching live, share the video, share in the YouTube platform. You can share all over as well on WhatsApp. You can share on
Mhm.
Facebook, Messenger, and wherever. Just share the video. Invite someone if you can. Those of you at home at this time, you're already in bed and listening to us. This is 95.9. This is where we want you to lock your dial, your FM dial, because it is an independent analysis about the real happenings in our country, Liberia. And so, thanks so much for following us and listening. Using your data, we much appreciate you for that as well. So, there's a lot of things in store for you tonight. Yes, we can kickstart the conversation tonight. The general, you want to start up? We'll look at ArcelorMittal's operations in Liberia. Has it been positive? Has it been beneficial to Liberians? Have the ordinary people benefited from your analysis and understanding about Metal's operations in the country? $1.4 billion been invested so far since the coming in of ArcelorMittal to our country. What is your take, and what have you gathered so far relative Metal's operations?
Well, thank you very much. And I just brought the CEO on because he was waiting for the key. And it is shameful. If you look at the years, and as usually say mental state or standard meter been in Liberia, we still cannot see the accomplishment. But we always see shipping, we always see what they are shipping out of Liberia. We got this information where they have 97%, the government got 3% of whatsoever they get from underground. We don't know if it's true. They also had concession agreement from the public. These things are supposed to be public. It should be published for every Liberian to have the ability to read it. Now, every government, whenever you come in, if there's a contract signed, it's always good to go back and rectify that and see whether this company accomplished or whether they go by the contract they signed. But so far, I'm not happy. The people of Nimba County, the people of Grand Bassa County, even the Bon County, we don't know what is going on. Whether the officials are okay because they are getting a kickback, but the citizens themselves. You go to Nimba County, you won't tell like before where we had Lamco. When Lamco were in Nimba County, when you enter Nimba County, you know there's Lamco there. You see the visible, you see things that have been done. But now, when we see government officials going to visit these people, then they raise eyebrow. Government officials don't need to pay a visit. They need to come down to Morovia. If some of this money being used on the people, we don't know. So the thing is that I am not happy about it. There is nothing clear about it. We expect the president to put his foot down and say, this is what we want because it's our resources. But you cannot continue to take the resources out of the country and say, well, because I'm bringing the money, so I want to give you 3%. That is pure corruption, and that is not fair to Liberian people. And I believe, I am not convinced they are doing nothing. Whether you can employ 2, 3, 4, 5, or 100 Liberians, still, what the people benefiting? Like what Lampo did before, we still can see nothing, my brother. So I believe that corruption is somewhere, somebody benefiting, and nobody want to speak out. They're pretending like they're speaking out. And then again, I want to say thank you. The journalists, we are not friends to government. I want to say this. But other platforms defend these people. So you see, these are some of the problems we're going through. Some of them are almost like a PR office to these people. So I am not happy about it. And so far, I would not even give them more than 50% of what they're doing. I know they're benefiting from us, but we're not benefiting from them.
Great. Let's talk about their expansion a bit. I will still talk to you, and then we'll bring in other views on the platform tonight. They are opting for an expansion of phase 2 of their project and an investment in the country. Do you think Asado Metal deserves to be extended more years of her investment in the country since she came in as a multi-million dollars company and invested about 1.4 billion according to them? Do you think there's a need for us to expand on Asado Metal's concession in the country?
Listen, I believe no, it's just a simple and common sense. If I gave you a bedroom, I said this is where you're supposed to sleep and make it nice, and from living into that one bedroom, I can give you a 2-bedroom. But you stay into the bedroom, the only thing I see you doing, you put in only things that are going to benefit you. So if you look at the 1.4 billion that they're talking about, is their equipment and what they're spending on themselves and what they're getting. We cannot continue to expand because well, they have signed. I think this will be the third contract renewal or continue to expand it because they know that our people are greedy. You need the money. They think you are broke. They think they're doing you a favor. So at the end of the day, these guys will be brave enough to give our same lawmaker money and they will start to push it. You look in the great country around, you won't find no company walking into government to even give you a car to say we're donating a car. That's a conflict of interest. But we saw it where they gave each lawmaker before long ago during the Ellen Johnson time one pickup. Then what are you going to say? We saw it during the George Weah time again. They crowd, everybody complain. We cannot extend their contract or add onto it until they can prove to us, look, President Bouaka needs to put his foot down. You can't say the other people don't do it, so I can't do no. You are the president. You don't even need to visit them. When it take a while, you go and pay a visit to see why this is not done, why this is not done. But look at the house they're supposed to build. They put the people in container. There's no problem living in a container, but they know that the container is a temporary thing. That's why they brought a container that they can live. They don't want to put any structure on the ground like what Lamco and other people did. So we need that to expand nothing until they satisfy us. They are using our resources. If they leave it today, there are other companies out there that want it. You think they don't know? They know about it. So we need not to give them anything until they can accomplish the first one.
Okay, let me say good evening, CEO from Liberia. Welcome.
How are you doing, guys?
Well, thanks for asking. We are
Yeah,
great.
good.
I think Andre is waiting for the link. I don't know why you
I
guys.
sent it to him. I sent it. He just check his email.
Okay, as Andrew is about to join in, let me come to Desmond to weigh in as well. Desmond, you listen to the general as he's widely and popularly known. He believes that ArcelorMittal operation hasn't been impactful to the ordinary people. Let's get a background and insight about your understanding as a journalist, what you've researched on over the years concerning the operations of this steel giant, world steel giant, coming to our country of recent. The CEO of Salom Metal was here, and then there was a whole lot to talk about, where he also boasted of his company's investment of $1.4 billion. Where are we?
That's a very good question, and I like the fact that we can weigh in on all of these issues concerning our country. The bottom line is ArcelorMittal may have uh, provide jobs for Liberians, but I think much is not done in terms of changing the livelihood of Liberian people that even live, on the camps, and even work with them. Here is the issue. Today, revelation by the CSA boss follow exposes ArcelorMittal's, operations in Liberia. If you look at 3,000 jobs that should be done by Liberians, ArcelorMittal contacted foreigners to do those jobs. This is a red flag. It is a red line that ArcelorMittal have crossed. And for me as a journalist, what I think should be done, like other people are calling, let there be a real look at ArcelorMittal's operation in Liberia. If there should be a rectification, I think we need to go back, look at what ArcelorMittal should have done. A few days ago, we had a deputy for concession here, and he said there are problems with most of the concession companies in our country. Even though tonight we're spotlighting ArcelorMittal, so we'll keep our conversation on ArcelorMittal. But again, here are some of the details that a lot of people don't know. The jobs that Liberians should be doing, ArcelorMittal took these jobs and gave them to foreigners. For what reason, we do not know. But the battle line is our government, not this government, the past regimes, because we'll come to this government, we'll talk about what is it, but even past administrations, they saw these lapses, they saw the red flag, they allow ArcelorMittal to have even an extension of their contracts. So, in my mind, I believe that the government sat there and aid ArcelorMittal in this particular issue to have deprived Liberians because we have a law, we have a policy. It's called a liberalization policy. We have a law called the Decent Work Act. All of these things are in full swing. If you take jobs that Liberians should be doing and give them to foreigner, it shows that the company do not even value the people that they are extracting their minerals from. Because if you go to Nimba County and extract all of the minerals from there, right? And then the people who are supposed to benefit are not benefiting. So for me, in this case, I think ArcelorMittal at this point, their MD or whatever needs to be revisited. We need to go sit down on the drawing board, look at what they've done and what they haven't done. Let's look at their terms, the TOR or whatever they're supposed to provide for the communities, their social corporate responsibility, all of those things. Let's review them. I stand with Senator Yantuan because he's been very vocal on the issue. Even though he's from Nima, I think this is a national core. It is not just for Nimba.
We'll come into what that particular Nimba County senator is also projecting or is asking Liberians to join him collectively to ask our government of the day look into ArcelorMittal's deal for renegotiation. That those things should be done before the deal can be 100% rectified. But we have Mr. Andrew Kear is here now. Can we bring him in to say hi? Welcome.
Yeah, good evening. From my end, I would say, yeah, the same in Liberia. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm coming in a little bit late. I'm still at work. I had a lot of challenges. So, but it's nice to be on tonight and let's discuss Liberia, especially what affects our people. I see the firing from the studio. So the brother in there, I'm listening to you, just hanging in there, and let's see what best we can do to discuss Liberia this evening.
Great. It's the political dialogue on Kear Radio 95.9. Before going over to the USA to bring in our CEO for his import, Jeff, you listen to Desmond.
Mhm.
Tonight, Desmond's point is, well, before ratification of the expanded project, we must look into details happening about ArcelorMittal.
Mhm.
There have been things done by the previous administration, according to Desmond, sorry, that did not do well for the state, that Liberia is still backward despite of a huge investment of $1.4 billion by this particular iron ore or steel giant company in our country. What's your take about what you also have researched on, basically with ArcelorMittal?
And so, Obe, it's not different from what Desmond said. Let's take, for example, you took over Kia Radio as a new manager. The past administration, uh, before you take over to supersede or or take or oversee everything, what you normally do is you have to there will be some maybe turnover, and then all of those documents that will be turned over, you have to review all of those documents. Maybe perhaps there were contracts signed by the previous administration,
Mhm.
and then you Obed just came and he said, well, I don't want to know about the contracts that were signed. Let me just see, and you open and just look, and then you look into the documents, and you saw some contracts that were signed. Perhaps the past administration, what they were doing, it wasn't benefiting the staff. Then you came in and you said, "About I will just continue to do what I can and to move the same way because since the guys who were here were not benefiting." So this is just it. As a government, when you take over, I mean, the state, and you met some documents, some papers on the table, some concession agreements. There should be revision of all of these documents. Make sure that you check. Some of these things cannot be in the interest of the mind you when MOUs or MDAs are being signed in the communities. Sometimes the people will not know. For example, the company will say, like Asylum Metal will say, from Yekepa to Sanikole, we will build roads. In the MOU or MDA, they say we will build roads, but there will not be a time frame with the people that from this time to this time we'll build this road. They will just tell the people, okay, then the people say, okay, yes, we will. The people say they will build road. And then when the company is not building the road, it becomes a problem. And then the people say, oh, the people you want to build a road, the people you want to build a road. And then who takes the blame? The government will take the blame because the government is responsible to making sure that the people or the county, the community in which these companies are operating, the people who are there should be the ones to benefit. But if these things are not done, honestly, you have the people who will be the one who will suffer at the end.
Great. All right. And just before the CEO weigh in, let's also bring our listeners up to speed. As said better, they've been here for over 25 years
Mhm.
and they have been back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, according to a little report, is that Asada Metal generated $477 million within just uh, a year space.
Mm.
Of that, $2.2 million was used on 34 Liberians on international scholarship. That's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, it's just a drop in the ocean. In the ocean.
So the country for which you got 477 million from,
Mm.
you use 2 million for scholarship internationally for our students. And at the end of the day, now Asada Meta, because there is phase two project expansion, they have extended the international scholarship for students. So a lot of people across the country are saying, well, why are they doing this at this time? Is it because they're opting for an expansion? Is that why they're doing this? Let's also talk about the 3,000 foreign workers.
Yeah. 3,000.
Imagine having 3,000 foreign workers in the country doing jobs that Liberians are capable of doing. I would always like to set example and show pictorial. Those of you who are watching us live today, hope you can see something for yourself. People who just hold far, they are foreign nationals,
Mhm.
right?
Mm.
They just come as flying clerk. They are foreign nationals. They come to Liberia as experts, and they're making thousands of dollars than the Liberian people. If you watch on the TV, for those of you who are following us tonight, as you can see live, you have a foreign national from Nepal. This man's job at Salometa is just to hold the fire and write data. Jeff, Desmond, are Liberians not capable of being fine clerks in our country?
But that's clearly a Liberian. I would, as we go further with the conversation, I will be naming jobs that Liberians are supposed to do at these companies, and foreigners are doing them.
Great. Now, tires. Changing tires at Eselo Metal has been given out to foreign nationals, Indians as well. We have all of the videos, we got pictures to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that these things are done by this particular company, and it's a problem. Now, Senator Yantua, just before we can bring in our CEO, Senator Yantua has been pushing that for us to, we need to look into Eselo Metal mineral development agreement, concession agreement with the government of Liberia. Can we add a portion of the road? Should Eselo Metal now do significant portion of something that will impact Liberia, for which they are getting all of these iron ore and investing them outside, or going outside to sell them and getting millions of dollars, making Mr. Metal rich? After all of the slavery work, most of our brothers want to go over there. They do most of the hard job. They've been paid less. And at the end of the day, millions of dollars leave this country to go out there to Mr. Meta and his family members and people. Liberians are not on the chief executive board, but yet the company name is Eselo Metal Liberia. Of all of the top executives at Eselo Metal, there is no single Liberian there.
At this point, I think Eselo Metal is what they're doing right now is just tokenistic, because they want that expansion of their MDA. They want to have an expansion and more time in their favor. I think it's just so bad for our country.
Let's bring in our CEO, Mr. Christopher Kear. Welcome again. Let's hear your input. Eselo Metal operations in Liberia, is it impactful?
Yeah, first of all, I think you guys should go on the YouTube page to correct the. It's still saying on the test broadcast. Are we still doing test broadcast? I don't think so, right?
Yeah. So Jeff, hope we could look at that. George, yes. Let's see if we can look at that to correct it immediately.
Yeah. So thank you guys for bringing me on. For me, I always told the general that when it comes to Liberian politics, I am not part of. I'm not a fan of what's going on in the country. I've been very disappointed in the government, in all the government officials that have been, elected in offices. They are not doing what they actually were elected to do for the people of Liberia. I'll be very honest. I've been very candid in my speech. As I'm saying today, the only person that I know in the Liberian government is the president of the Republic of Liberia. The reason being is that I don't waste my time memorizing group of people that don't favor the Liberian people, that not in the working in the interest of the Liberian people. So I continue to actually preach the fact that Liberian people need to be taken seriously, and they deserve better. Okay, for the part of the iron ore discussion that you're talking about what's the name, Manta or whatever it is.
Eselo Metal.
The reason being is lack of negotiation, because business negotiation. Guys, when you're having a discussion like this, inviting other people into your country for prominent participation that will affect your economy, the first thing you want to do is actually include your citizenry, people that will actually benefit from the deal. Okay, but we'll go into these deals, and the government are supposed to be the mouthpiece for the Liberian people. They will leave their own citizens out and go bring people out, advocate for. They will not even advocate. I would say that they would not even speak of anything to say why can we do this? We exporting rubber out of the country. Why can we have at least one or two companies that can make some rubber products in Liberia that will, in that sense, they will employ a lot of Liberians that will do the same, and that will boost the economy. Iron ore that makes something that that has iron productive saying in the picture. We can be exporting everything out of the country with no guarantee that something should be in our country. We should be able to make some type of product from our the resources that we exported. But the business negotiation aspect is lacking. When they go into this deal, the only thing they think about is the cash that is there, the cash value, what is there for me, and the rest of the citizens or the country is not benefiting. So that's the effect of it. I just want to stop there and give the other panelists some room to comment.
Yeah, just before you give other panelists the chance to also weigh in. Well, ArcelorMittal operations in Liberia, $1.4 billion. They said they've invested so far. Looking at a country population of approximately 5 million people,
Yeah, almost 6
and their
million.
operational areas, there's still issues. Take, for example, people are still down and underpaid. People are still doing jobs the way they are doing it in this modern age and time. What is your honest take, CEO, concerning these things being talked about? ArcelorMittal has blew her own horn, as in they've done the very best for Liberia and they deserve an expansion.
I mean, you have to look at the track record of a company, of a person, right? So, like I said, again, it's the government that is responsible for this. Before you give somebody the edge or to sit down for a discussion, you have to actually assess their track record to see what they have done over the years. So the asylum mentality that that's in question, if they have not done anything that will benefit the country in its entirety, we have to examine the fact that they don't deserve another expansion or another a chance in the discussion. The discussion process needs to have some type of business intervention or business implication that will benefit the entire country, not just the government. So if we're doing something like this, we have to be careful because these countries that come, they continue to take advantage of the poverty that is within the country. So when somebody will bring like 500, let's say maybe $10 million or $20 million to you and say, listen, I want to do this in your country. And because our government is actually seeking personal riches or lucrative personal lucrative earnings of their own, they will not even evaluate anything. The danger, the only thing they will actually assess is self-profit and what is there for them. And but the entire country, what going to hurt the country down the line, they're not looking at that. Okay, so that is the level of lack of negotiation and also the poverty level in the country. And the government is not actually doing anything that will help. So these companies continue to pump money to influence the government because the government is like a bait. They put a bait in the water, the fish can't run into it. And, so we have to be very steadfast in our decision-making process and be very prudent in whatever discussion we have gone to this to make in that we benefit the country as in its entirety, not just as individual or particular government official. So
okay, the general, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, and maybe Desmond will expand on that. I worked with the labor ministry for some time. I was there and went up to Inspector General. It's sad to see labor ministry giving work permit for a clerk or driver or cook. No way. The liberalization policy in Liberia, they know about it. A foreigner cannot even open a bakery. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Go
Can I
we're
even,
hearing you. Go ahead. Go
can I
ahead.
even open have a gas station? You know what I'm saying? But look today, the labor ministry issuing work permit to someone who just to write names or clerk. If there is nobody in Liberia to do that job, then you can bring in your people, even accountant. And if you think you want to bring somebody to control your money, okay, you will have a foreign accountant and you have the Liberian one at hand. Even I remember ITC, one of the vice president position, it went to Akwe because we told them, say, hell, you guys cannot put on a white, you got to get a Liberian, have a Liberian into that managerial and into the vice president position. And Akwe was the one that took over. But that is why all these things happening. You know, it's sad. The people of Liberia cannot speak for themselves because they can never go to ArcelorMittal to talk. It's their representative. The government of Liberia is supposed to see to it that all these things happen. Before, Lamco had a school in Bikano and in Lima County. When you enter Lima County, you know there's a company. But today, they're giving us peanuts, and we're happy about it because our government and our officials and everybody would beg a lot. It is we entitled to it. They're not doing us a favor, and they're bragging and telling, "Oh, we spent $1.4 billion." In the great United States, companies do not just take out their profits. When you go and sell, you got to keep your money back. They want to see it in account. But I bet you, ArcelorMittal and Firestone, when they're ready to sell, they will take everything out and bring back when they pay the payroll and pay the people, and nothing in there for the government. That is why we're having problem with foreign exchange. Look, it is sad. The government of Liberia need to put their foot down. The past never did it. Look, it's just like a replica, and everybody doing the same thing. Every new government that come in, they will go and sit with Firestone. Every new government that come in, they will go to visit Mittal and sit with them. Why are you visiting them? And they're there to do business. We don't care what happened, but they need to. We're not saying nothing. We cannot extend the contract or we cannot add anything on it. They need to fix the roads because, in fact, they're damaging the roads. They have all the heavy equipment. And this is a third world country. Every third world country does the same thing. Where if you come into the country, you want to take the resources, you got to either build schools, you got to build hospitals. Yes, that's part of the contract. They're making millions of dollars from out of us. Millions. And we're not even talking about them and doing everything in Liberia and shipping. No, we gave them a go ahead. Imagine 97% and only 3% for the country. That's a shame. That's a shame.
General, the civil servant boss just before Desmond can come in said 3,000 Indians were given work permit to do at ArcelorMittal. What does it mean? And these jobs, like you said, fine clerks, supervisors, accountants, they are making thousands of dollars as expatriates and sleeping in good homes, while the Liberians who are there killing themselves in the local way make nothing.
Yeah, Obed, you are Desmond. I can see your.
No, they will come. I don't know. I don't know why they went off. They will come back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the network has impacted the life, but we will be on. Don't worry. Okay. I mean, General,
if I'm in the president position, I will fire the labor minister with a blink out. Some, in fact, I will fire him like 4 o'clock in the morning when he's sleeping, because it never happened in Liberia before. I'm telling you, my late bossman Serenos 4. I remember we took a survey. We went from businesses to check and see who are doing business, and the labor minister has the right to increase work permit and decrease anytime. But you cannot just give the work permit out to people. You need drivers. Why you should bring a foreigner? Yes, you can bring a trainer. The trainer have to use the machine, and that's it. And Liberian take over. Liberians and foreigner cannot open a bakery. Foreigner cannot sell water. Foreigner cannot open a nightclub. They can't open gas station. But go in Liberia today and see all these things. So the people need to put their foot down. But the ordinary man will not do it. Only the government can do that. Only the government and the labor ministry.
Yeah. Let me just help General. I mean, to buttress to what you said with statistic. In 2024 alone, just last year, 2024, the Ministry of Labor, the government of Liberia, was able to issue over 10,103 work permits.
Wow.
And out of that number, 7,032 of those work permits are against the liberalization policy. In fact, they are jobs that were given to foreigners that Liberians are supposed to do. This is a shame for our country. It is a big shame for our country.
And guess what?
And this thing that we are saying today, I showed some international partners are sitting and they are laughing at this country because we're not ready to put our feet down.
And guess what? The justification from Minister Kopokra is that these concession companies and foreign businesses will write for work permit on grounds that the people they are bringing are specialized people. They are experts and technocrats in special area. Take, for example, they will apply mining engineering. They will apply for technical positions that.
But when they come, they do the jobs.
They do supervisor, they do accountants, they do fine clerks, they do tire job and other concession areas. They're even doing water job. They're just in the water area, they're producing their own water, they're standing there and they're in the factory doing that particular job. So according to him, they lied to them. But what have the ministry done? What has the ministry done so far?
Revoke the permit.
Revoke the permit.
In terms
very well. In terms of supervision, in terms of ensuring that what this particular company applied for. But this is the secret. Let me inform you people. At the Ministry of Labor, the minister and others there are the ones who carry out the processing.
Yeah, they print the permit.
So you process for them, they pay you for processing their work permit. You cannot go to supervise them because you are working for them.
Yeah.
So they get Kear
providing consultancy.
You provided consultancy. You have a friend, an independent or firm outside governmental function, and say, this is my friend, but this firm will process your work permit, and they pay a huge amount of money to that private firm account, bank's account, and at the end of the day, how will you go back to these people and say you are going to inspect them or you're going to make sure that they are in full compliance? It doesn't work. Now, what the law says concerning these people, bringing them as experts to do the job for which you grant them work permit, is that when there is no Liberian in country
that can occupy that job,
you advertise the position internationally and source someone from out there to come and do the job. Unless, even someone, a Turkish national, wants to change tire, you leave Liberia, you go out of the country, take that particular Turkish national and bring him and give him thousands of dollars and enslave the Liberian people in their own country. Let's go to Mr. Andrew Kear, who will also weigh in. Guess you are there. Welcome again.
Yeah. Well, I think he's doing something.
Okay, and before he come back, let me just come back again. You know, I think Despo might know about it, even Obed, when exotic, not even exotic or this company during Charles Taylor time in Buchanan, the logging company, man, what's the company name again?
Lark?
The big, no, not the one
OTC?
Charles during OTC.
OTC.
Remember, by then I was at the labor ministry. Tom Owu was the minister. Don't you know that these people came to the labor ministry with a position because we stood and told them, listen, certain jobs, we need Liberians. When you bring it to labor ministry, they will help you. They don't have to tell, but they actually need to advertise the job. Every company needs to advertise a job that belongs to Liberian. So people went to labor ministry and was filling up applications to work with OTC. Their drivers, you get a feedback. Their drivers and other things. They brought people from Ukraine and Spain to only train the drivers, train these guys that were using the machine. And they gave you time. They'll tell you, listen, they will be here for 1 year or 2 years. Then somebody will be next to them. Even when we had LPMC during Talbot time, the head of LPMC was a guy from Sweden, and the second person was President Boakai. Now he was the second guy. In fact, no, not President and Minor. One former ambassador Minor was there. He brought Mr. Boakai in at the time to work. So it was a joint corporation. They had a foreigner there, and they have Ambassador Minor, who was the second in command. Well, today, what's going on in Liberia? As if it's strange to us, it never happened. You go down water side, you go other places, you see foreigner working, you see white people selling ice to you. How can you sell ice in my country? How can you allow the men to have a nightclub that use, unless there is no Liberian to operate or to do such a business, then we got it.
But
If
in
you-
fact, General, in Ghana, what they do is that if Liberians do not have the money,
You have a
they
partner.
just come, you have a partnership,
Yes.
partnership business or so, and the
Yes.
Liberian man name must be on, or the Ghanaian man name must be on that business. That is how
You
it's
got to
done.
have a
Yeah.
partner. That's the
Because
deal.
you can say ArcelorMittal Liberia, and there is no
All
Liberian
the board,
on the
the
board
entire
as a
board.
chief executive.
Yeah.
You have foreigners occupied key position, executive positions, and they make the decisions while the Liberians are placed on the down and local positions. But yet you say ArcelorMittal Liberia. Yes, just adding up to that. If you go to even our supermarkets, you will see the Liberian cashier pot and but a foreign national, Indian or Lebanese, is standing on top of that person,
And supervising, them, making sure
supervising
you're taking the
them,
money, and
making
moment
sure
they
you're taking the money,
yeah.
and making sure that okay, you charge your brother $5. Okay, let me see in the system.
Yeah.
They will be working out on the computer while the Liberian cashier is there doing symbolic job, but the Indian national or Lebanese national.
Obey, you at Decimal. What you doing? You're dedicating hand pump.
Well, we dedicate here for where's you?
Honor that name.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will bringing in Clara Malak on the show tonight, CEO General and Andrew Kear. She's going to expand on this ArcelorMittal issue. She has been very much hard working in the background, getting a whole lot of information about Metal's operation and its impact on the Liberian source. So Clara will join us. Clara Malak is a Liberian journalist, a rector. I think she's on now. Clara, good evening. Welcome. Okay, so let's try to
before Clara
yeah, okay.
comes in.
Mhm.
Yeah, before Clara comes in, the issue or the topic under discussion, and I hope that we will continue on with more companies that are in Liberia. Now, when these companies come to Liberia, they sign concessional agreements with the country and its leadership. Now, these are corporate citizens that are there to serve the country and with whatever production that they are involved with that will benefit also the country and its people. Now, all of these corporate or these concessions that have been signed, the details through the lawmakers are well outlined for the benefit of the people, regardless of where it is situated or not. Now, but along the line in its administration or in its execution of whatever agreement they've signed with Liberia, when Liberians are not benefiting or things are things are not good for the country, that reflects on the leadership of the country. And I know all of you guys have been able to harness this. You've been able to re-echo that. So it goes back to the leadership of the country. If your people are not benefiting, the question will be then what was the intent of what you signed with these people? Now, ArcelorMittal is the company for this evening that is under discussion. And in subsequent discussions and dialogue, I hope we can also dwell on a lot of companies like Firestone that has been there for pretty close to a century now.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, I've worked with Firestone for years. If you went back there for the few years that I served with Firestone, they'll tell you exactly the record we've left there, the impact we've played, the advocacy that we did. And it's of no praise to myself, but it's about if only our government was doing just that, holding most of these institutions feet to the fire, the benefit will come to the country. I work with a similar company or rubber plantation in Liberia, which is LAC. If you went to LAC today, people will tell you about my household name, not so much of being at the throat of the company, but ensuring and that advocacy that our people benefit. At the end of the day, if that particular smile is not on the faces of the people, it goes back to the government. Today, if you check through the Ministry of Labor, the unemployment rate in the country. It is very, very high. But yet you find the very companies that we are talking about, ArcelorMittal, when I was in Liberia, was there. I think ArcelorMittal has been there for a little over 20 years now.
Yep. Yep.
Check that track record and see the impact of that it has made on the people. Now we are very multipolar world right now. The world is changing. The resources now for every country, every nation now is advocating for the benefit of it, and not so much out of raw material that you just sent out. It's about time that we invested into finished products of our own resources. Now, but if the government or the leadership is not prepared to analyze things and engage investors at such level of long-range plan and making sure that the people benefit or capacity building is also ensured, all of these things, we will not be prepared to even meet the challenges that are here. So besides the gaps that they have in terms of even bringing more foreigners that are working in the country, come back also to our own country. How well are we prepared in terms of our own capacity building? Making sure that our people that we have even educated, that they get fully employed. When we're not doing these things, trust me, we will continue to be a slave to our own country. So I will give chance to others to come in with more information. But hey, ArcelorMittal is just one of such concern, or Firestone and many other companies, like we've heard about the other companies in bombing. I think Bombing Hills or so. I've left Liberia for a long time, so I may not have a very good grip of it. But at the end of the day, it's about how badly affected our people in Liberia. If the government is not putting its feet on the ground and making sure that the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, trust me, we are going nowhere. Thank you.
Definitely. And one of the senators before
Mm.
Desmond come in, Mr. Andrew Kear, one of the senators believed that there's still good things that we could do with ArcelorMittal by renegotiating.
Mm.
That
Yeah,
there
yeah.
should be the pavement, serious pavement of the road leading to Yekepa, from Ganta to Yekepa, but
Mhm.
then even if it will cost the government portion of a royalty, but ArcelorMittal should include that in her deal. ArcelorMittal should also include the issue of education, having schools, having clinics, and other things built before we can talk about having an expanded project. But we have Clara Malak, who is also live with us tonight. Let's bring her in and hear her own opinion and what she also observed so far. She have had lot of information to share with us tonight. Clara, welcome to the program.
Hi, Obed. How are you? And hi to your panelists and all your guests.
Great. Okay. Welcome to the program. Guess you've been following.
How are you,
We
Clara?
I've been also following your writings concerning ArcelorMittal. You've got a great experience and information to share with us tonight. They are pushing for an expansion. They've talked about an investment of $1.4 billion in Liberia. Let's talk about the impact of their investment to the lives of the ordinary people and for where they even carry out their concession activities. Now they're talking about the plant or concentrated plant.
Yeah, 1.4 billion.
No, the plant
The,
is not 1.4 billion.
the investment, I mean,
It's
that's what I'm
1.4
talking about.
billion.
That's
Yeah.
a concentrator.
Yeah. So what is your take about Metal's operations in general here in Liberia?
Well, thank you very much, Obed, for having me. It's keen as an impromptu because I was following the show and I started commenting. So now you
Okay.
just send me a message. I'm actually in the field. I'm now in Monrovia, and I will not like focus on my institution because I resigned from ArcelorMittal. First of
Great.
all, I worked from ArcelorMittal from 2018 up to 2021. And due to bad labor practices, just before I answer your question, I will push. I had to resign. I had no option. My safety was key because what was happening to me was happening to nearly all of the workers, and too many mysterious killings and too many bad things were happening. Healthcare system, all of these things. So when I say it was time for me to move, I was not. I don't have a kid. I was not like married with kids. So I said, look, let me just resign my safety is key, and then I moved back. I think over the years, Asila Meta has seen itself as a company, quote unquote, like to say they came to save Liberia. Because they came here in a period where we have just come from war. We were kind of desperate in terms of growth. We were down. The war has ended. Too many bad things were happening. So they came in, and so they see themselves as this company that actually came to save Liberia. But in actuality, it's not true. I work as a communication officer there. So I spoke with the highest and the lowest. I sat with the CEO down to all of the key members at the time. And even if I was still working there, I was still going to be in the corridors of power because of my scope of work. They're not doing us a favor. I know you're asking me about their potentials or what they have done. It's a total disaster. When you go to Yekepa now and you visit Buchanan, the first thing is why even our citizens are sleeping in containers. When Lamco came here in the 80s and established this company, they had structure, they have sophisticated buildings. You have seen the blueprint of Yekepa and that of Buchanan. Asila Metal comes and existing on these current structures that have been here, that left by Lanco, and doing nothing to improve the lives of our people. They have children in Yekepa that are sharing one bedroom continuum with their parents. That is child labor because men by nature are sexually active. Men idols need privacy. The kids not supposed to be sleeping with them in the same room, and that is happening. And then they have the children are being exposed to all sorts of things because the parents have no options. They have to take these jobs either as a contractor or employer, whatever, just to sustain themselves. These things shouldn't be happening when we have prevailing structures that the company can just renovate and give our people decency instead of treating them so harshly in its modern realities. It's not good. So coming back to me, what I experienced there is exactly what most people are experiencing. But because this country there are no jobs, things are so difficult. People are tied up with health issues and in terms of taking care of families, etc., etc. So lots of our people are only working over there because they have no option. Maybe if I had a husband and a kid or children with me, I would have been able to stay there. But because of the
Internet glitches
Yeah,
there, not too sure.
I think so. But
Yeah, I think it's from her.
we hope to get her
I
back.
have not seen the prospects of Asila Meta for me to listen to you to say I can point at something because even the hospital, the building that Lanco left there is very modern and sophisticated. I have toured that building. Do you know that staff go over there for treatment? Drugs are prescribed and giving the list, the papers to them to go and purchase these drugs because there are no drugs there at the time I worked there. And then when they return with a receipt to even get a reimbursement, but it takes forever. Will you have $1 billion company in our country at about this time? Then the workers who are subject to going like 7,000 or 5,000 high in the air, like really, really, really tough from Gangra to Tokra. Now they are money in Euraton. Really big mountains, places I went to interview people. And these people will get hurt, go to a hospital, and somebody tell them, we don't have drugs. And even if they injured, they were so injured, it's severe, they don't have that insurance to take them out of here. The only opportunities that is given is to whites. The white people come when they get small problems, they fly them out either to African countries or European countries, and the insurance are not the same. But it's the people who are doing the actual work on ground, extracting the iron ore, and even transporting it from Tokra Day to Dialogue. Now it's Euratom because the concentrator is being built. The reason why the concentrator is being built because of Tokra Day. The iron ore content in Tokra Day is like 55, 56. So that was the main reason why that concentrator is being built. Now from there, they will go back to Gangra, they will go back to Euratom, all a low grade, including that of Tokra Day, they will mine. So by the time Asila Metal gets finished with Yekepa, we'll have no iron ore left, and there will be no development. Nothing substantial is happening. So all these things are happening. And mute. After 25 years, can you go to Yekepa and boast about anything that you can see that is so tangible to say, oh, the company have done so much good to the point where you can say, okay, let's give them phase 2. I said no. And everybody else just sitting down and mute. And this thing is not working well. You continue to have foreigners. They enter in a country today. They give them first-class services. They give them the benefit at large. The salary they make are huge. I'm telling you, Obe, from the mines, coming from the mountain top, from page 1, page 2, page 3, the people are risking, yeah, yeah, the people are risking their lives so badly. Like they have to rally and you have to take your time. So you go like maybe 30 minutes, 35 minutes, almost an hour to ride the truck. The iron ore is in the truck. The system that Lamco were using, Mita is not using that. So it's a traditional means of transporting the iron ore in truck. So these people take their time and you have to be careful. These are valleys. I'm telling you places that win, and they have to raise their lives to take the iron ore now from Uraton, bring it to the plant site, which is in Tokade, and it has to be even a conveyor belt. Caught a fellow here before, and what the company did, they fired the guy and said he was no more useful to the company. Up to today, I don't even know where
Ready?
is he. And I said,
Ready?
yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
such, yeah.
That's just one of the instances. He got caught on the conveyor belt because the conveyor belt hooper 100 and hooper 101 or 102 or so. Those are the two hoopers that they use to kind of mix the iron ore because it comes sometimes it's in hard bricks and all of that. So when they transport it from the mine, they bring it to Tokade to the plant site. The hooper is the one that kind of pull it into different processes. But then they have the conveyor belts. It's a whole process. And people Liberians are monitoring these things. The white people are probably sitting now in the offices smoking cigarette or drinking tea. And our people lives are raped. And somebody here got caught. And at the end of the day, that guy was taken out of that place. All of the time I was there, I heard about that fellow. Up to today, we never got any redress. So
Clara,
the problems are
how come
numerous.
the government, yes, how come the government is not cognizant of these things? Just the other day, the president was in Nima County and praising Asada Meta
Of
for her
course.
investment in country. How will you reconcile that the government that should supervise the operational activities of Asada Meta, the chief executive of the country, is the one hailing Asada Meta for what they've done so far?
Yes, because this country is has been over the since before if since 1847 coming with the free slaves and to the war and all of this, our government have always been against us. Even companies that were here long before Asila Meta, things that they were some of them were not even right. And coming with Asila Meta after the war, post-war, it's just another disaster. Whether you have President Joseph Boakai, any other president prior to President Joseph Boakai, Liberians, when they are in position of power, it's all about themselves. The government of Liberia has 30% share in Asila Meta. The government of Liberia, the company is paying them to use that track. There are so many things that are happening over there that we can't even talk all on this air. So when people are being paid in quote unquote, they are lobbyists, and special Liberian names are on payroll for different kinds of things. They say they are lobbyists, they are lobbying for the company, they are doing SYZ, they are doing blah, blah, blah. So when these people visit the concession, they tend to behave as if, even at the concession itself, beside the government official and the president making that kind of statement, there are two kinds of staff over there. The general workforce are treated like complete slaves. They have few staff, few senior staff that they really pay at international level to cover all the trash. That's how it is. So I'm not even surprised to hear the president saying this, because when President Baka took power, he told the Liberian people that concession companies in this country were one of our major problems, and he was going to look into that. There is no public record or document to prove that since President Joseph Baka came to power, he has ever any review or any other concession companies in Liberia to show as to what they have done for us as a country and people, for him to have gone there and made such a statement. That is a political statement. I don't know why he felt it was on the basis of doing that, but this is how our government have treated us over the years, and I'm not even surprised that that came from out of the president's mouth. Sincerely.
Great. Do you think we still need to do a whole lot with Asala Meta if we must expand their phase 2 project in the country? If yes, what do you think we need to rectify or renegotiate with Asala Meta?
I do not think that after 25 years of Asila Meta staying here, if they had intention of transforming anything here positively, they would have done so long before now. Let's assume the first 10 years or the first 5 years they were settling down, right? Ellen were in power 2006. They carried they shipped the first iron ore to the world, Mr. Mitaki, and they had a festivity and all of that. But 10 years later, we're going 20 years, we're going 25 years. You have the same breed of Liberians. The only difference is that they are older. Some of them, their children are younger and adults and taking over. You got these same people. Are you telling me that because ArcelorMittal has stayed here 25 years or so. When you gave them phase two, anything will change for Liberia. If you ask me, I would say, once you have the same government with the same mindset of people who believe that once they're getting 1 or 2 cents from their company, and every other person should remain mute. I'm telling you, mysterious killings of accidents. People are sleeping in makeshift structures. The educational system there is bad. How can somebody be working at that mines and then you tell the person to purchase their own drugs because there are no drugs at the hospital at the time I work there? The township of Yekepa, you can kill animals and squirrels and snakes. That place was never like that. People are sleeping in continuous. Even when it comes to the salary structures, whenever the iron ore price is high on the market, you don't hear or about increment salary. Everybody keeps mute. When the iron ore price drops, staff are subject to what? Dismissal. Any mistake you made, they try to get you out. Or they put words in your face like, oh, the iron ore price are dropped, we can't keep you. But as soon as there's an increment at the world market, you never hear that. This whole thing is just a charade from our government. And if you were to ask me, this is a sovereign country that we have a structural government. And this is a democratic country where we elect our leaders. So I will not all sit here on this platform and just blame the company. I would say over the years of ArcelorMittal being here from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the president then to now, the bad governing system that we have had in the country is the key reason why these people come here. And it's not only ArcelorMittal, all other concession. Firestone is a beautiful place for child labor practices over the year. Me who sit at rather circle water than to work for Firestone. Because when I passed to that place, my brother died there. So many bad things are happening. Too many bad things are happening. And the only people that can fix it for us are the people who we elect into leadership. So when our people stand up for us, then the institutions that come here, foreign nationals, they will be able to say, look, these people know what they want. Let's work along with them because they are strangers and we are citizens. The way we embrace ourselves or introduce ourselves to them, this is how they are
That's
taking us.
exactly.
Over
So,
the years, they have not done
100%.
well for us as government to actually bring in folk. Do you know that armed robber attacked me at that company, at the seat of the company, including all some of my colleagues? The next morning, when I wrote the HR and other people that I was
That was,
attacked, they told me not to complain. And
that
I
was
was
an inside
asking
job.
for help, wanting for
Inside
help.
job.
I can't again.
Great. Great, Clara. Look, we hold you there and bring in other panelists. Andrew, I see you. You want to weigh in?
Yeah. I really appreciate, her presentation. I'll be very frank with you and I'll be very short. I said it from the beginning. It's about leadership. It's about the way you present your own country, and that's exactly how the investor will take it. And the discussion that will be going on will serve also as a wake-up call to other media institutions as to what is happening even in our country. How the people are being treated. I am a witness. Again, our bars were not closed at the time, but we engaged the institution differently in a way that we could see changes that were coming. And so President Boakai, who has been in the private sector for years before he came into the government as well, this is a call to him, a call to reflect on the platform on which he got elected. I remember about he saying Liberia first, build Liberia first, and Liberia whatever. This is the best time. Where is also the EPA? Where is the Ministry of Labor? There are a lot that is not being served by institutions. And I really, I kind of like, I feel so sorry for her of the risk that she took at that company until even she got out. These are things that need to be heard. These are things that need to be lifted. These companies, when they are busted in this direction, definitely changes will come. Now, there will be a lot of lobbying from the back trying to silence people. It's not going to be only ArcelorMittal. It's going to be similar companies like Firestone, Lock, or the companies in Bombing Hills. This is also a
Vivanti.
wake up. Yeah, it's a wake-up call that even our lawmakers who have become the conveyor belt of these concessions that have been signed. Some time ago, there were a lot of debate about bogus concessions that were being signed. And that's exactly what you get when these bogus concessions are signed.
Great.
As much as they are being called that direction, but I would think that this is the time that the government should have its own full assessment of things before it. Concessions that are before it, and do what we call system assessment. Go to these companies, have people who are going in the field and see the welfare of our people, the environment in which they are. Because if you sit back and just sit in your office and you get yourself compromised through the institutions that you run for the government, definitely our people continue to suffer. And I'm looking forward to the more and more for the political discussion because ArcelorMittal is just the first today as we go forward. Let's have other companies that will be able to assess as well. What is the impact of their operation on the lives of the Liberian people? If we're not getting that, the lawmakers need to be held responsible. How are they representing our people where you have the concessions? Go to Grand Bassa County, go to Nima County, go to Bomi County, where you have the major concessions. It's about time. Around the world right now, look at Africa, the wind that is blowing. It's about the resources. They belong to the people. They belong to the people of the land, and not to be using foreigners that come for business, extract your resources out of raw material. They take that, turn that into a finished product. They come back and sell it to you 1,000%. And it's like you're buying your own looted property. So if we sit idle and people are not saying things and they are not holding the government feet to the fire, this is going to be an endless issue. But I want to thank all of you for this program. I really appreciate the topic on the discussion, and we'll have more to do there.
Great. This is the mid
Let me come
edition.
in.
If you just join us before the general comes in, this is the mid edition of the program, the Political Dialogue, designed here by Kear Communications Network, Kear Radio 95.9, on Facebook, KCNTV, on YouTube, Kear Communications Network. Every Tuesday will be here to bring you this particular program, the Political Dialogue. Yes, General, let's hear you.
Yeah,
Listen to power.
I'm just sitting and asking myself this question. Who's the president working for and the lawmakers? We implore them. I don't think the president and lawmakers should worry about any problem because we're giving the president all the benefits. We're giving him everything that he wants, that he can look at any company and say, go to hell. We implore them. Okay, the people that the president appoints, yes, we argue, but we hold the president responsible when they are not doing the job. But when it comes to concession agreement, it's done by the people that we employ, the people we voted for. They came to us, they asked us, they said this. There are over 66 Google concession. We heard all the slogan. Now today, the president went there and said, because the people they overrate themselves, they say we put in $1.5 billion, or because we are beggars. It is our resources, Liberian people. Nobody's saying go in the street to demonstrate for such a thing, but we need to speak out. This is the time to talk. Speak with your lawmakers. They are the ones signing that agreement. It's not no minister. The minister just going to do the work, and when the minister continues to steal and they cannot fire him, that means his boss is aware of what's going on. But the president said the people are doing good. They're giving jobs out. It's not ArcelorMittal alone. Even our small little companies, even the Liberian own, they're still not doing the right thing. We talk about the foreign companies. But I bet you, go and check a Liberian logging company or rubber company and see how they're treating their own people. We talk about child labor. Go there, go to Bon County and go see how the kids are doing the same thing. But you know, these companies, the foreign companies, want there to make money. They want to pay, but when they know that you are cheap, then they treat you cheap. They never enter this country to come and pay you to play chicken change. No. They came with the open mind to do business. But when they notice that your government are vulnerable, it's good for the businessman. He want to make money. So the president, the lawmaker, these are the people we need to hold account, especially our lawmakers. The president is hard to reach, but my lawmaker need to stand up. What's in these things? And okay, the district we live, we don't have no resources there. What about the people from Bon County, the people from Nimba, the people from all these places? There's no school. Everything is Monrovia. The money comes from Nimba County into Monrovia, and all the developers. What about Nimba? What about Bon County? So we need to hold these people, and this look, we shall continue this topic. We got to speak out. This is the time I tell people, like brother in the circle, we started with the elite, we overthrew people, we brought the military government, we brought in rebel activities, we went to election, we brought the civilian. Now we are back to the other end. Now the only thing now is to talk.
So what did you want?
Yes, we no overthrowing, no protest, but we need to speak out, especially
the first general run away for the war front.
What did you want?
No. Now they say we should negotiate. Then they say in terms of war, prepare for peace. In terms of peace, prepare for war. But we need to put it down. We don't owe these people, they don't owe us, but they must do the right thing. The journalists themselves, stop hiding.
In that case, General, I'd like to disagree with you. They owe us. The government.
No,
owe
listen.
us
I said we don't owe them. Listen, when I said don't owe us, they don't owe us any kind of extra money, but they owe us the accountability. We gave them the job. They work for us.
Of course,
they work for us. So you shouldn't be afraid to speak out. You shouldn't.
Okay, let's go to CEO.
Who are all the shareholders on that company? We don't know. And I bet you, if you look at it right now, you will see under government officials.
Yeah, let's hold you there, General. Bring in CEO, and then we have another topic. But it seems like the ArcelorMittal topic is
very
interesting.
Out of our time.
So we're gonna use just this one topic, and then next week we can bring in our next discussion, or how be it maybe we're waiting for
we can wait into 8 months.
Yes, okay, but let's hear you, CEO.
Yeah, listen. It's a good discussion actually going on for the benefit of the country. Like I said, this company continue to take advantage of the current situation in Liberia. Our negotiation leverage is as low as it gets when it comes to some finance. The people that we send to negotiate on our behalf as a country, they do not have the integrity to actually speak for the country in its entirety. If a company wants to come to do business in your country, a company wants to come to do business in your country, you have to lay down rules and regulations, how you want them to proceed, how you want them to be a part of your economic development, or whatever it is, financial progress when it comes to benefiting the country workforce. When a company comes in, that what we're just talking about now, okay? We have to, like, where they actually drilling the iron ore, the first thing that has to be in place is that Lamco or Yekepa is supposed to be a well-developed city. That's the very first thing the government's supposed to lay down. When you come to do business here, this is what we want. This place should be a well-developed city. Buchanan, Yekepa. This is how we want, for the next 5-10 years. This is what we want you to be. We have a short-term and long-term projections. Coming to them and telling them how you want. But there's not, the only thing to look into is what is there for them. How can I get rich? How can me, myself, and my family get rich? That's it. Other than that, there's nothing that there for the Liberian people. And another thing, I don't want to take your time. Like, this has frustrated me. That's the reason why I don't participate when it comes to Liberian politics, because it's so frustrating.
Great.
A lot of our government officials, the senator representatives, and people that go in back home to contest for these positions, these are people that fail in the Western civilization. Somebody who fell in the Western civilization, what change do you think they're going to carry in Liberia? They're not going to affect anything. These are some of the residual effect that we are seeing, and over the time. So I just want to stop there and continue. You guys should, go on with one our discussion on new topic you
But
want to have.
let's bring you back in, Clara, and then we'll open up the phone lines for Liberians who are
Yeah, the
listening to
phone
this
lines as
maiden
well.
edition to participate as well. Clara, let's hear you. Are there additional things for which you want the Liberian people to know about ArcelorMittal, our government? What have you to say to national government again? It is not too late for doing the right thing, I believe.
Yes, for me, take for example, this is a company. ArcelorMittal is the world giant in steel. The guy
Mhm.
started producing steel before he went into mining. ArcelorMittal is in over 60 countries. He's a billionaire.
Yeah, from India.
So,
Yeah.
right. So you can come to
Multi-billionaire.
right, you can come to a third world country like ours. Over the years, for the last 20 plus years, this man has been extracting direct iron ore or 65 grade
Mhm.
from Gangra. They talk a day having 55, 56 iron. It would at the grade was low for the world market. So when they discovered that Gangra, because there are three areas, Gangra was solid in iron ore content, they extended the mining to Gangra, and that's how the issue of the construction of the concentrator came about, because then they will go back to Tokra Day and mine. So all of the low iron ore grade that you have at Gangra and Dallas Uraton, where the iron ore is being mined right now, when they started the usage of the concentrator on mining to Tokra Day, they will go back to the three areas. And if you look at the past 25 years, including now what is still taking direct shipment of ore, even with the low grade that we are talking about here, to concentrate it will not be hard because you got some area 55, 56, etc., etc. All I'm saying in short is you are an international company, come with your standard. And the government, as a government that govern your people, ensure we are talking about human lives. If you cannot protect your citizens, who are there, the children, they will serve as future leaders. You could have presidents coming from Yekepa and Buchanan. You don't know the future of those people working there, their kids. So they need to be protected. The need for them to have better incentives. Can you imagine during the COVID, we had this issue about health hazard. The general welfare, the workers union, had received an information from Canada that ArcelorMittal was actually providing incentives and health hazard benefits for workers in Canada. So when we brought the issue to the workforce that we needed health hazard payment, that thing broke a big case. We went to the labor ministry, was a fight for over 4 months. And you will not believe it, just small amount, I think $400-500, so very small. And even the senior staff are complaining that the general workforce, we are not entitled to it. They did not want to give us, and the information we received from Canada at the time was that they were not just putting money extra money into or onto the salaries of the staff that were there. They were giving them letters, cards, and all of that. And then what was happening that really made us angry as a Liberian staff, you had the experts that were here that they stopped from traveling. For example, if an expert is making $6,000 US, because these people make big money, some of them even make 10K to 15K per month. So if you're making $6,000, the agreement was that $3,000 of that money will be cut into 2,000-3,000 will be added to your salary. So if you're making 6,000 when the month ends, let's say June 6, 7, 8, 9, so you'll be making $9,000. That was what ArcelorMittal did during COVID period to increase the salary of the international staff, mostly whites, that could not travel. They share the salary into two. So if you're making $10,000, they will take 5,000 and add it to 10,000, making it 15 and give it to you. And Liberians will make like 150, 350, 500, 700 ArcelorMittal. They could not even add $50 to us. So when we received that information, we took it to the labor ministry. The government could not defend us. They made it to know that we're asking for something that the company could not afford for us. This you can cross-check the information, because I was not only a contractor, I was employed when that incident took place. People are getting hurt. When something happened to us in the workforce and we tell the company, that you hear senior staff telling us that you people don't have a job, your government cannot provide for you. These people came here to help you. Without them, how will you make it? Some of you didn't even go to school. Those are
That
the
is a
kind of sad
disrespect.
talks. Those are the kind of sad talks we hear from senior staff that are making up to $6,000-7,000 that protect the company there in Yekepa and Buchanan. So the government really needs to come in. If they solely want for the human capacity to be built, if they want for Yekepa to be built, they want for Buchanan to be, because mind you, the iron ore is being extracted from here, but it's being transported to Buchanan. There are beautiful buildings in Buchanan in that loop. And all they have done since phase two started with the construction of the concentrator, I have visited Yekepa and I've been to the loop. They have even advanced the continuums. They got upstairs and downstairs continuums. On your use continuums. The work I do, it takes me across Liberia. Come here and see continue. They are rotting. They are dilapidated. They are no longer in use. So how can you replace structures from Lango days with continuums? And you will not believe it. One of the engineers who was a British national told me that Liberians, some of them are making percentages of the continuous. The one I was sleeping, I was leaking, I had to go to P market, buy floor mat to cover it so the water can start waiting on me. 100 men came in Yekepa. The man told me that continue alone was 15,000 US per month to keep it there. And there were Liberians that were getting percentages on it. And it was leaking on me. And I had to still wake up and work. Too many things are happening over there. And every time it happens, people act like the company is doing us a favor. They are not doing us a favor. If they leave Liberia today, the iron ore will not get rotting. Any other company can come in with better agreement to mine and then help our people. If Nima is developed, it's Liberia. They got Liberians from all walks of life working over there. The iron ore might be in Nima, but there are Liberians from all across the country working. And I'm from Bom, who also have iron ore. Who knows? If Asila Meta complete the iron ore mining in Nima, where else they are going? Okay, will they go local? Will they go other places? Because we have greedy leaders who will say, okay, since you finish with Nima, we can extend you to this other place. When it comes to money, you don't trust our people here. So if the government really wants to help us, and Mr. President Joseph Baka promised us, he said he will rescue Liberia and coming with change. Let him step up his game and ensure that these companies, Bill Mountain, there's a brother from there complaining now that his side, he losing his side because he had an accident. The company has abandoned. He was on OKFing this morning. Let the problem be redressed. We cannot be working for people. Our lives are vulnerable. You're supposed to work, retire, and enjoy your retirement benefit. You don't even have benefits. So when you retire, you get nothing in return. You work 10 years, 5 years, they fire you, you get nothing. I know too many names that I could call on the air that they have fired with all reason for Asila Meta, and they got nothing after working for more than 6 years there.
Great. Okay, so let's recognize some of the people following us as well. We want to make this different. Clara, our own CEO, Mr. Christopher Kear, Andrew Kear, member of the board, the general, the seventh, is also on this as a panelist as well. Jefferson Perry Weir, uh, Desmond Brown, Obed Jiba. This is the maiden edition, and of course, it's going to get better and bigger by the day. Samuel Bernard Carr is following. He said, wow, so sad. Judah Irish is watching from where we don't know. Ibrahimdo Jato is watching as well from Broville. Thanks so much. Joseph Siakor says, just trust poor man from Liberia with power. You will be walking and talking by yourself in the streets. Well, please share the show. Lee Monju is following. Coming Peter Governor is also watching live. Uh, is watching live. He said the country's major problem is the cost of it's the legislature. Those 103 lawmakers receive those brown envelopes, and they compromise our people's social contract component of these concession agreements. Listening to Mr. Moba and Miss Malak, and the president's statement praising Aselo Meta is a complete contradiction indeed. That was a political praiser from the president of the country. Okay, Sidiki and Tarawadis writes, and he says, what's the National Bureau of Concession doing to address these trending issues? Only one person is working at the entity, which is the deputy director for administration. Are you blowing the deputy director? Another person will Okay, but let me read a comment. He said only the deputy director for administration is working.
The guy who hosted a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday, in fact.
Yeah. Okay. So we leave it as it is because he has a side. So everybody blowing their own horn. When you do a thorough investigation surrounding a Solo Metal Liberia new project, you could realize that it doesn't reach $1.4 billion. A Solo Metal Liberia inflicted the amount. It's from Joseph Siako. Ruben Cannon says, I'm Ruben Cannon and following from Ghana. Yeah, you can say Ghana. Ghana. Okay, and so Clara Malak is following. Tuzon is watching Livadino that's the Santos Copot is following, and he says he's watching from that's Broadville District number 17. Daniel Basselborg Johnson is following us from Grand Bassa County. He is at the port of Buchanan. Yeah, we'd like to say thanks so much. It's time to interact with the audience a bit. So we activate the call lines on 0777959 to our panelists. You could mute your microphone once you're not talking. We're getting feedback from the end. 0777959 Let's hear from you tonight. Another person, Prince Royal Addison, writes and says the country is in reverse. Our cycle.
Our own Prince Allison?
Yeah. Oh, man. He's a pastor now. Pastor Prince.
Pastor Prince.
Thank you so much for joining us.
The prophet.
Yeah. But let's go to the lines and take a call. Liberians, you've heard. We also have an MTN line with Jefferson Perry. We are announced.
0881-871-670. So the numbers are 0777959 0881871-670. The program is the Political Dialogue, and of course, this is the first edition here on Kear Radio 95.9. What do you make of the talking points? You listen to all of the panelists tonight on the show. Let's hear you, the audience. It is time that we interact with you. 0777959 0881871-670 are the numbers you can use to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, let's see, Liberians, as you go to the lines to talk to us and share your moments in terms of what is happening in our country, in terms of concession, and specifically throwing light on ArcelorMittal's operation. And most people are seeing ArcelorMittal's operation now as being inflictive, something that has been inflicted in terms of the monetary value. And all of those things we're here. Jefferson Perry is at controls. And of course, Obed Jiba is here. Morris Desmond Bryce by name. And 10 hosts of panelists who have joined us. Let's go to the lines and start to pick the calls. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. I just want to applaud my sister that was in the studio. I was explaining about.
Tell us your name first. What's your name?
First of all, I'm way more copy than I call from Dean Street. You know, the issue of metal steel in our country, especially for Nimba country, is just a trouble for the Liberian people. And we sit here and we don't look into it. Our generation unborn, they will not even realize anything. As I speak, Blanco, and no Blanco operator in this country, and we didn't benefit anything. And today, another million based on that project here, I mean, concession agreement that was made during any time. We heard that it was 58 also now. President Junior Bagato over and now review one for to hear anything on the radio. What's happening in that thing that get is explaining on the radio. And we just want to thank those journalists. Thank you guys. That every day you will reflect see out. Let know about it. So we can get the total insight of what is happening in our country. It's a serious matter.
Thank you so much.
That was your say.
This person, good evening. 0777959 0777959 0881871-670 The Political Dialogue is here on Kear Radio 95.9. Let's take this person. Good evening.
Yeah, hello.
You're live. Your name and where you call from? Please be audible. We're not hearing you.
Yeah, George, my calling from College.
Let's hear you.
Okay, thank you for the show. Yeah, because right now in the country, but the president, when all the going in the get by there, you will hear the people on that concession, on that consideration.
We're getting feedback. Can you please walk away from your monitor?
Yeah. Hello?
Go ahead.
You getting me?
Go ahead. We're hearing you.
Yeah, I tell you, thank you for the show. For this content for the president when Lima County and They show the people that are doing well in the country, which are people that are doing nothing yet. People they just suffering, people they carry out raw material from the country without benefiting nothing. So really, I appreciate on this show. This show should always be on, especially for the president and the lawmaker, all of them in Kuwu, that particular companies to benefiting from that as an individual, but they and their family. So I appreciate for the show. So always it should be on. Let's do respect and have for the
Yeah,
Liberian
but
people.
for now, we're doing it every Tuesday. We'll find a time to see as to whether we can have it every day. But it's almost like a pilot project. So for now, every Tuesday, tune into Care Radio from 9 o'clock strictly up until 11.
Better still, you can follow our morning show, you can follow our afternoon show, and the rest of it.
Look at this person. Good evening.
Yeah, hello.
You're live
Yeah, there is Emmanuel calling from Portland.
from Puebla. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for your agricultural program for tonight. And moreover, the panelists and our sister. Yeah, because she really speak well. And Joe. But moreover, we the Liberian women here work to put the people in power just for them to inherit themselves. They and their family. Yeah. Because moreover, when work time for how you call it, you can have a situation in that we don't want to our people when we depend on to speak for what they don't want to speak.
Okay.
That's speaking to it, yeah. And that's
So,
speaking to it,
so
I want
with
to
all what
establish
you
my
heard,
that's all of it.
with all what you heard, you think we should expand Salametar's operation in the country?
I don't really I call it. I mean no happening of it.
Okay, okay, sir. Let's take
Yeah,
another
thank you.
person on 0777959 959. Call us and let's hear you tonight. Get used to it every Tuesday. This person, good evening. Hello, that person slipped off the line. Keep your calls coming in. Maybe we need to go to the MTN line as well. What's the number there?
0881
It's 0881
871.
871670. The numbers you can use. Let's get this person. Good evening.
Hello, I do.
You're live. Your name, where you call from?
My name is Frankie. I call from Puebla.
From where?
From Puebla, Puebla.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, bro. Last year I was talking about asking that people are too eager to wear the country. Yeah, you are you go to the
Your line is cracking. You need to just walk away a little bit, please.
yeah, I said you have to start asking that will too eager to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. 07779599590 0779599590881871670 are the numbers plus 231-886-681198 is the international line for those of you who want to participate from overseas. Plus 231-886-681198 are numbers you can use. This is the Political Dialogue. It's here on Kear Radio 95.9. And of course, it comes on every Tuesday beginning 9 to 11 p.m. And of course, it's time that we interact with you, the audience. You're listening to the panelists.
Yeah, I think we have to go back to our panelists.
Yeah.
We wrap up on the AML and then we can close up just in few minutes. Waiting on our next point. We call it a day. We'll end on the. I see this one looking. The man will go now.
No, that's so much of that. I think we should have just combined them, talk about all two, but then
Yes.
but it's also good our panelists can have a gist of that particular topic. It's also good.
Great. Okay, so Clara, how would you like to wrap up on this AML conversation before we transition to other issues, and then we'll take other panelists on this? 1 minute each to wrap up on the AML issue for now.
Yeah. I've worked there. I've had bad experiences, and I know Liberians are working and still have bad experiences. And I say again, it goes back to government. If government cannot stand with its citizens to ensure that our company work in our favor, then there's no point keeping it in Nimba County until we the citizens can stand up and make sure that what Mr. Boakai said, or President Boakai, that he will rescue Liberia. And some part of that rescue should start with what's happening in Yekepa and all our concession companies. Then he should step up. We want to see massive changes. If the company cannot adhere to that, it's never too late. Since I left ArcelorMittal, God is providing my food. So they're not doing us a favor. If the government cannot stand with us, then let the company leave Liberia.
Okay. Mr. Andrew Kear, you want to wrap up on the ArcelorMittal issue and then we transition?
Sure. Sorry, I'm in a location. That's why you're not seeing me directly. But I just want to add on to what the sister in studio just said. This is very concerning for our country. It's not only with ArcelorMittal, but like I said, this is a wake up call, and we all should be advocates as to the social services that our people deserve in Liberia. Look around the African countries. See the wind that is blowing. This is a culture that has been carried on by many African leaders. Guess what? The actual enemy of the people in Africa is their leaders.
Mhm.
So the same goes for Liberia. President Boyka is a president that I respect. I've worked with him before, and he will have this listening ear, not only about ArcelorMittal, but other companies that we need to advocate for the Liberian people. The well-being is the very reason that they employ you for. Every cabinet minister for you or the representative that are in the house, this is what we should stand for. But to sit and compromise the interests of the Liberian people, it's a disgrace. It's really disappointing. And so I understand how many are really voicing this out. ArcelorMittal, if the officials of ArcelorMittal are listening, this is a wake-up call to do far more better. To do better, because what you are doing is something that, listening to just others who have spoken, it hurts all of us. We've seen that with many companies, with Lamco, with Firestone. We have Firestone. We were the largest rubber plantation in the world. Now today is Malaysia. Now it's not about just the size; it's about the impact on the lives of the people where these companies are located. The largest rubber plantation today, Liberia should even be a leading producer of tires and other rubber products. You look at textiles, you look at sneakers and this, that. Look, during the days of even Tolba, I mean, when it comes to sneakers, Liberia should be one of those leading companies, one of those leading countries with respect to that. But you have all the raw materials that the people take and go and create finished products. They bring the very finished products to you and sell them just to you. It's like I said, you buy your own looted things. How long should we carry all of this on? How
Okay,
long
thank you.
should our people suffer?
Thank you.
This is not healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. CEO.
Yes, I don't want to hold you up. I don't want to hold you. Andrew already took all of mine. Yes, like I said, bad negotiation skills. So our government needs to do better. The head of the government, it starts from him. He needs to do better. When he goes to these deals with these companies, they know that we're hungry. You all equally we have to have some type of integrity in the process.
Yeah.
Tell the people what we want, what we stand for, what we want to see, our short-term and long-term projections and stuff, that how the way you treat yourself, how somebody will respect you.
Of
They go
course.
to the table that you're hungry, anything they put there, yeah, you just take it. And they will do they will not respect you. So that's the effect that we come to see, realize as a country. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Jeff.
General is there.
Yeah, okay. General.
General say eating lunch.
He did launch. He did launch at 6.
No,
Don't matter, man. Listen, I'm gonna come the other way.
Okay.
The Liberian people get us saying.
finish eating?
The Liberian people get us saying that I don't blame you. I
Yeah.
don't blame ArcelorMittal. Let me be honest with you.
Of course.
I don't blame them at all. They are right of what they're doing. The government, our leaders, the people we elected, and also you see how they're treating us. That is how we treat each other.
Mm-hmm.
That is how when you go in government ministry, they treat their employees. The minister who got it to say, we lack the dignity of labor. So look what the guy was just saying. The senior staff at Stella Meta will tell you, well, you don't get a job. You must sit down there. People leave, you will not get a job. Is that how we're supposed to operate? It is our resources. Every citizen must benefit. So who need to do that? Who need to fight for the people? The elected officials from the president down. By this time, look, everybody respect Mr. Bwaka. I respect him for his age and how long he been in government. As far as I'm concerned, he's supposed to be the most experienced Liberian ever to get to that position from where he came from. But look at the same playing card, the same thing is going on. Liberians get hurt. Jefferson went to our place with another time, they blasted from Seti brother. And every time I see that picture, that thing blasted in Seti brother, and this guy body torn apart. I bet you his family got nothing. We don't respect our people. We don't treat them nice. Even our ordinary, I'm saying again, our officials don't treat their drivers right. They don't treat their cook right. They don't treat their husband and husgirl right. That is why the people treating us this way. You allow the men to bribe you. The people went and gave you car. Every representative got a pickup. What you expect? They look at you and laugh. They make more money from us than any other country. You think Astameta will go? They're not going nowhere. They will pretend like they want to leave. And when they leave, other people that's a minister or mineral, it's not going to damage. But sometimes we got to stay. But our belly, our official, they don't want benefiting. We're not benefiting. So we need to continue to speak to them. The officials, the elected officials, these are the people who need to start giving ultimatum to. My vote is not there for you to get rich. That's not why I voted for you for. Because you promised me you're going to do X, Y, Z. Where are the promises? You failed. So that's what I'm going to say. We need to stand up if they want to negotiate and go back to the drawing board and say, okay, because you can do X, Y, Z. What you did, what you never did yesterday, you could do it today. Fine. Because we don't just want to push everything aside. So if we can go a strong way and say, if you either you take it or you leave it, let us stand like our leaders, please. And look around us, look at Burkina Faso, look at all these other people, look at Guinea. They're doing the same thing. What about Liberia? We've been around for so long. Please. Thank you.
Okay, Clara, this is an open invitation, a request to you from this team, for me as well. Hope you could have the time to come in on our program every Tuesday to weigh in on other issues aside from the Salometar issue as well.
Is Clara still there?
Yeah.
You muted. You muted.
Okay, she's muted.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Your Honor.
Yeah, I could, that I can be a little bit controversial and objective at times.
And that's
So I have to, when I get back to Monrovia, I have to have a discussion with the program manager, the people I work with, and say that sometimes you will want me to pop in. I will be more objective. I can be controversial if I want to be. But let me get his take, then we'll talk it off air, and then I will let you. I like this kind of discussion, but I just have to formally inform me that sometimes they will call me to have my view on issues so that it can be aware. Then I will let you know what he thinks.
Before they say we're stealing you, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I can talk from anywhere. Most of the time, I'm out of Monrovia. Like now, I'm talking to you from. I saw the train today because I'm in Nimba, and they were carrying our iron ore to Buchanan 64 wagons. Every time the train.
You probably saw today.
So is that the only thing you saw over there with the iron ore going?
No. I like Nima is fast developing. It's beautiful. Like we are testing projects. So we went to towns. I will not even call it villages because these people are building so many good structures. Like you can go into a town and sleep in a modern home. The last time I went to Ban, it was in 2016, and I got to Ban as a city. I was confused. I got there. I said, "Is this Ban?" The former Chief Judge, Mr. Kabina, General Judge Kabina, he has a beautiful house in Ban, right on the road. The place has changed. Like all the towns that we visited, so many things are happening in Nima here. So Nima is a success story since the war. So when I'm from Bon, but when I get to Nima, I get really excited.
Great.
The people love competition, but they don't go on each other, but they do everything to make sure
Radio
that, yeah,
is all about time, and then we've been caught up with time. Next
yeah.
week we'll try our best to bring in folks from the opposition and the government, so we'll have a lengthy conversation as well surrounding these national issues. Like we said, this is the mid edition, the first edition of the political dialogue, and we're going to make it bigger and better. To nowhere but 95.9 K Radio. We are located on the UN Drive, opposite the BTC Barrack and adjacent the famous Rally Times Market. As you are there, well, yeah, you can also listen to some of our programs in the morning, the Kear Morning Show, in the afternoon, Inside Liberia, our news program at 6 a.m., 12 noon, at 6 p.m., and of course, our news summaries and news bulletins, our sports program. A young team of incredible professionals here helping to make Liberia better. This is how we like to contribute towards our patrimony, our common denominator, and of course, that's how we know what to do best. So we'd like to say thanks to our members of the board, our own CEO and others, Mr. Andrew Kear and Mr. Monique Kishen, the general, fearless general, for being on tonight. We want to say goodbye to all of you. Guys, waiting next Tuesday, we'll be back with another edition of the program. Thanks so much for following us and our colleagues here, Jefferson Perry, and Desmond Brown. They've been around. Even though we have to hold Desmond and jack him up because he complained about a distance. Maybe next time he will do the show from home.
Desmond's gonna be sleeping, man.
Yeah, the boy gets no too much.
I mean, it's for a water course, CEO. So we are here to talk about our country. So we're here, no problem.
And tell our sister we really appreciated her.
Yeah, I mean, I will have to,
Thank you.
give her a pat on the back tonight.
All right,
Definitely.
it was nice meeting you. Okay, we want to see
Thank
you off.
She will take controversial in our hands soon.
Okay, nothing wrong with being controversial.
The only person I know on the platform is Obey, but very nice to meet all of you. Thank you.
Constructively controversial.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
We have to go. It's hard to say goodbye, but we have to go. So thanks so much for
just
following.
keep pushing on. Even cutting the mark off on me.
Yeah. It's a general. I was like, Messi, one good thing in right?
Kear Communication Network, Kear Radio FM 95.9, and Kear TV proudly presents the Political Dialogue every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Liberian time and 5 p.m. USA time. This is the People's Mic, is where truth echoes louder than party loyalty. We owe no allegiance to political parties because our loyalty is to the people. We speak on the real issues facing the nation and shaping Liberia's future. Agriculture, education, healthcare, water, sanitation, youth empowerment, and job creation. From the corridors of the legislature to the powers of the executive and the rulings of the judiciary. No branch is above scrutiny. The political dialogue also steps into the corridors of political parties and the Elections Commission. The people deserve the real truth. We ask the hard questions. We expose the silence. We hold